There we go. All right. Um, Need to actually record the meeting because what we do is we actually post the recordings typically within 24 to 48 hours of being done. You will find them posted here in the group. So that's why you would want to join us. It would be one of the reasons. See, here we were yesterday and the day before and so on. So if you attend a meeting and you really like what was taught, because every meeting's different, if you attend the meeting, you like what was taught, and you want to go back and review it, well, the way to do that is join our Facebook group. I'm going to see here. I'm going to go ahead and put this into chat really quick. I don't use chat much in these meetings, but I'm going to put the Facebook URL in there and you guys can go ahead and grab that. Now, if you don't grab it before the meeting's over, it doesn't show up in any recording or anything, okay? But there it is, so you can go ahead and join the group. And again, that way you can review a meeting. If you attend something, you really like it. Why else would you want to be there? Well, let's say you miss one. You're with us Monday, Tuesday, can't make Wednesday. You're here Thursday, can't make Friday. It's a place where you can get caught up with what we're doing. So sometimes we go through material or a topic and it takes just one day to have that discussion. Sometimes we go through a topic or maybe a piece of material, a book or something that could take several days or even more than a week. So again, if you're following along, I always like to show you where to get a copy of the material we're going through or find a way to provide it to you and put it into the Facebook group. But again, it's a way to get caught up with us if you get behind. And not that you need to worry all that much about getting behind. Every single day in and of itself is a good training and will be helpful to you. Okay. Next thing I want to go ahead and point out is what we are in the process of doing. So we are going through a book right now called Hidden Treasures. We started that actually yesterday. We previously went through a book called The Science of Getting Rich, and that took us about just over 3 weeks. And then we had a day in there where I talked about something that wasn't in the book, which was subconscious mind. That was just me having a discussion with you guys. But anyhow, we're in a book called Hidden Treasures. Why did I choose this book? Well, a lot of people think the law of attraction is the law that governs you manifesting and receiving what you want in your life. The law of attraction is actually a secondary law. It's a secondary law to a law called the law of vibration. Okay. And there are multiple laws that govern us manifesting and receiving what we want in our life. So if we're only obeying some of them and we're disobeying, and I'm not saying disobeying like we're being obnoxious, like we say, hey, I'm going to go disobey on purpose. You're just unaware that the laws exist, okay? And by default of being unaware, you either obey them by accident or you break them by accident. The thing is, if you break them by accident, you still end up with the same result, which is not receiving what you really want. And you probably end up with the exact opposite of what you want in your life. So you want to know how all the laws work. Well, this book is a great book for showing us that and getting into some depth so that you can understand it. So I chose this book for that reason. The other reason I chose it is I knew who wrote it. If I go back to my beginning, I was introduced to the science of getting rich and went through a seminar that was taught by the author of this book. Her name is Leslie Householder. At the time of that seminar, she was a facilitator and coach for a gentleman by the name of Bob Proctor. Okay. And at that point in time, I was actually working together and being mentored by a gentleman by the name of Robert Kiyosaki. Anyhow, I learned a lot from Robert Kiyosaki and his team and working with them. However, there were still some things missing. I didn't realize that I was disobeying some of these laws, and I didn't realize that I needed to reprogram my subconscious mind to allow me to receive exactly what I wanted in my life. Okay. But Leslie Householder is who I met through the law of attract, or excuse me, through the Science of Getting Rich seminar that she was teaching, and someone who helped coach me and do some other things. And then a couple of years ago, and so since then, what happened after a short period of time, literally from February is when I went through the 3-day seminar workshop and then got some additional training and coaching. By the time March 31st had rolled around, this is in 06, I quit my job Took the month of April off essentially as a vacation. And from May 1st of 2006 through December 31st, 2006, I went ahead and produced over $400,000 in income in those 8 months. The previous 4 months, my income had averaged what it had averaged for the past 3 or 4 years, which was 5 to 6 grand a month. The other thing was when I was working at a job, I actually was being paid, like I said, 5 to 6 grand a month, but I was working 50, 60 hours a week. When I flipped that around, it was averaging $50,000 a month. Not that every month was 50. One was 88, for instance, one was in the 30s, but it averaged out to 50. I was only working 15 to 20 hours a week. So learning the laws in addition and learning how to reprogram my subconscious mind allowed things that I was learning from people like Robert Kiyosaki to change me. Well, as Leslie was a coach for Bob Proctor, a couple of years ago, Bob Proctor and his organization reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to be a coach because I'd had a lot of success actually utilized. They heard about my past. Okay, let's just put it that way. And I've had some success and they asked me if I wanted to coach others. So I jumped on board with that. And like Leslie, she's independent now. So am I. We grow our wings and we fly, right? Still very close to a lot of people in Bob's organization, still mastermind with several coaches that are friends of mine, but I do it independent now. Okay, let me show you how to get a copy of this book we're going through for free. Let me get a sip of water first. My mouth's getting a little dry. And since we're just getting started essentially with this book, we read kind of an introduction yesterday. You are not, if this is your first day with us, you really aren't all that far behind. Okay, you could go ahead and watch yesterday's video and that would get you all caught up. But let's see, what did I do here? Oh, I wanted to show you, okay, how to get a free copy of the book that we're going through so that you can follow along and use the same copy I'm using. I own it on paperback, Kindle, Audible, and stuff like that. But when I can get a hold of a free copy of something, I like to share with you how to get it also. And thank goodness Leslie decided just a few years ago to give this book out for free. She's sold it for years, has been a bestseller, along with several other books she's authored. But I just typed into Google Leslie Householder, and it's just like you think. It's a house and a holder, but one word. And then hidden treasures, then I typed in PDF. Organically, what came up at the very top was this website that says hiddentreasuresbook.com. So all I did was click on the link and it brought me to, it's about to bring me to, there you go, a website. And you could read what you want on there, that's fine. If you scroll down just a little ways, you'll find a spot where it says, click here for your free download. So that's where you can go get it for free, all right? And I highly encourage you to do that. So that's hiddentreasuresbook.com where you can find this for free. Okie doke. So what we're going to do right now, let me kind of explain how things run. We are going to hop in where we left off yesterday. I am going to do some reading. You'll be able to watch it on my screen, or if you go download your own copy, you can follow along. And I will add commentary and whatnot where I think it will be helpful and maybe to help you understand even better what's being explained. Leslie is really good at explaining this stuff. So yes, I'll add commentary, but I think you'll be impressed with the way that she goes about explaining the laws. I don't know how deep we'll get into that today, because here's what we like to do. We like to spend the beginning of this going through some material, and then what we do afterwards is we have a discussion. We'll talk about the material. The other thing that we'll talk about is give you the opportunity to ask questions, maybe to better understand, or ask different types of questions, anything related to manifesting more money and wealth in your life. So you'll get the opportunity. Oh, and also if you had some experience with the law of attraction and having successes, we let you go ahead and share those with us so we can all learn what you've been doing. All right. So for now, we're just going to get rolling. I'll get another sip of water. Okay, and away we will go. So a few basic questions. And this is Leslie speaking. I've learned on a personal level the truth in the promise that He that diligently seeketh shall find, and the mysteries of God shall be unfolded unto them by the power of the Holy Ghost, as well as in these times, as in times of old, as well in times of old as in times to come. Life's experiences can often seem random, leading us to ask some pretty serious questions. Yet, I've also learned that for every question, there is an answer. And there are few promises in the scriptures that are repeated as often as the promise that if we seek, we shall find, and if we ask, we shall receive. I hope that this work will serve to bring you answers to the questions you might be seeking now. Some of these questions may include: does God want me to be poor? Does he want me to have plenty of money? Or does it even matter to him? Where will the money come from? How is it that I'm telling God no thank you right now to the blessings of abundance that he has available to me? What unseen things are happening for my benefit when I choose to express gratitude to God? What role does God play in my financial life? What can I do right now to make a difference right now? How is my stress and fear reinforcing the unfavorable circumstances in my life? What unseen things are happening when I feel fear? And how does knowing what is happening serve to conquer the fear? So, how does increased awareness help us conquer fear? What one idea can I learn that will give me the power to apply faith with confidence? How can I change my faith into a sure knowledge that my needs will most definitely be met? God hasn't told us we're supposed to seek riches, but he has told us that if we seek, we will find. Do you believe that? Do you think that each time, and there are quite a few times, he said the Bible, seek and ye shall find, he was only talking about salvation? When he said ask and it shall be given you, was he only talking about living water? No, I personally don't think so. Whatever worthy thing we need, that is what he will provide if we ask. You'll learn in this book how to do just that. Okay. Perhaps he hasn't commanded us to seek riches per se. However, many have felt his nudgings to get out of debt, live within their means, build or support the kingdom of God, serve missions, or to simply maintain their properties, that they may be wise and faithful stewards of the blessings he's already given them. We know we should feed the poor and bring relief to the needy. I'm certain that he also wants us to raise our families by providing ample nourishment, education, and developing strong, healthy relationships through quality time. Some are compelled to use their resources to search out their heritage, thus further strengthening their family bonds. Others feel compelled to be self-reliant and prepared for emergencies with a supply of food and fuel, or have at least a few months' income saved in case of job loss or downturn in the economy. Others have a burning desire to get an education of their own to help them reach their God-given potential. Every faithful, God-fearing human being is compelled to do something. In many cases, that something requires a bit of lucre just to get it done. Quite frankly, we need more money than just enough for scraping by each month. If we feel God has asked certain things of us, then we can know he has prepared a way for us to accomplish them. As an ancient leader named Nephi said, I will go and do the things which the Lord hath commanded, for I know that the Lord giveth no commandments unto the children of men, save he shall prepare a way for them, that they may accomplish the thing which he commandeth them. God would not compel us to do this or that without preparing a way for us to make it happen. It would be ludicrous to think he would tell us to do something and then sit back and leave us stuck with an impossible task. He doesn't always make it easy, and the answers to our dilemmas are not always obvious, because through our search and struggle, we grow. He is more interested in our personal growth than he is our comfort. And if we can step outside of our troubles long enough to see the implications of that idea, we will realize that his parenting techniques are unspeakably wise. We can learn to trust him. We can trust that He will help us grow in self-reliance through our struggles. When we're able to care for our own needs, we are more inclined to search outside of ourselves to help someone else. Marion G. Romney, former first counselor in the first presidency of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, said, "Without self-reliance, one cannot exercise these innate desires to serve. How can we give if there's nothing there? Food for the hungry cannot come from empty shelves. Money to assist the needy cannot come from an empty purse. There is an interdependence between those who have and who have not. The process of giving exalts the poor and humbles the rich. In the process, both are sanctified. The poor, released from the bondage of limitations of poverty, are enabled as free men to use their full potential, both temporally and spiritually. The rich, by importing of their surplus, participate in the eternal principle of giving. Once a person has been made whole or self-reliant, he reaches out to aid others, and the cycle repeats itself. And that's essentially what I got asked by Bob Proctor to do a couple years ago. I had my successes, and not to say I'm not having more, okay, but I had my successes in learning these laws and reprogramming my subconscious mind. And I've lived all these years since then, working less than 20 hours a week and having a nice, healthy six-figure income. And it was my time to give back. I've given back, okay, don't get me wrong. I tithe to church, I've given to charity and things like that, but it's time to do it in a grander way. And God asking me to, through Bob Proctor and his organization at the time, to actually change what I was doing completely, even though I was making a great income, and actually become a coach and do this, that was a step in the right direction. That was a step of learning, a step of growth, but it's also my way of giving back. Yes, I get paid as a coach. I'm not a I'm not a freebie coach, but what I'm offering to people and helping people accomplish is so much greater than I was able to do before. So, and a lot more people are doing a lot better as a result, which creates that, again, that cycle. The whole idea is we become the best that we can become. We accomplish the most we can accomplish. We become as wealthy as we can, in the sense that you don't just seek it to stockpile it, but you do the right things and obey the laws. And then you set the example for others so that they can follow. If nobody had an example to follow, most of us would stumble around and not get anything done. It's because we're inspired by others who have what we would like to have, who are doing what we would like to do, or who have become as we'd like to become. So we see these examples around us, even if that's not what most people are doing. Matter of fact, what most people are doing is the exact opposite of what we really want to be doing, okay? But when we see those people who have stepped out and figured this out, we want to be like that. And so we're more likely to do the same thing. And then once we have received somewhat our freedom of mind, our freedom financially, our peace of mind and whatnot that goes with it, we should share. And again, it's not that I haven't been, I've helped mentor and train a lot of people over the years, just not specifically through the law of attraction. Done it as a business coach and in relationship to other ventures I've been involved in. So anyhow, I'm sharing with you that my hope is, as you learn this and apply it and get good at it, that you have the intention to pass it on and share with others at some point in your life, okay? And do the best job you can. But the best thing that you can do is be the best example you can be. So you want to learn to do things the right way and in a creative way versus a competitive way, so people recognize that there is plenty out there for everybody. Everybody can actually have what they want out of life. Okay. Everyone is somewhere, excuse me, in the middle of this cycle. Are we rich, needing to show humility through giving? Or are we poor, learning the hard lessons of how to graciously receive? By the way, a lot of you guys and gals, very, very, very difficult thing for you to graciously receive. Okay. When somebody offers something to you, a lot of times you don't accept it. You should. The other thing too is ask and you shall receive. You don't ask for help from other people when you ought to, when it's the opportunity to move forward, especially when it comes to money, because you already feel crappy about money, or else you would have more of it. So you fear going to somebody who's doing better because of your pride, and your pride is going to keep you stuck. Sometimes the thing you actually have to do is ask somebody for help, but you don't do it in a, hey, just hand it over to me kind of way. You create a situation where maybe they're investing in you. Now, you may have nothing, as collateral or specific to offer. However, as you grow and become more successful through, maybe you need money to get some additional training, coaching, or something, you make the decision to work with that person or borrow some money from that person. You become better, you pay them back, and you pay them back with interest. And or you use that new knowledge to pay it forward to other people. Okay. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, when I talk to some of you and you're like, I really could use some help and whatnot, it's like, okay, let's do this. And I give you some ideas and you're like, oh, I don't want to ask them. That's embarrassing. Or I promised I would never put it on a credit card ever again because, I don't like that. Well, God's provided, what's the credit card sitting there for in the first place? Okay. God's provided you a potential tool. If he's guiding you to get help, go get the help. Okay. You need to do what you're being asked to do and what you feel inclined to do at a connected level with God in the universe. And when you feel those promptings, you should follow them. But I'm telling you, one of the biggest things that keeps you from receiving more money in your life is you are not good receivers. When somebody offers you to take you to lunch or dinner, you feel like you need to go take them to lunch or dinner next time. That is not how God in the universe delivers. That's just trading back and forth with each other. Now that's fun and that's fine. But if somebody's doing better than you, or if they're not, somebody can be doing maybe worse financially than you, and that's why you turn it down. Because you're like, you got to be nuts. You let them serve you. Let them give you the gift they're trying to give you. Because what's happening is God and the universe are opening ways for them to receive more. And they're doing it as a service. Do not disregard the service that somebody's trying to provide you, because you're getting in the way of them having their good. They're going to feel good about what they're doing. And even that feeling good is going to bring more good to them. And chances are whatever they've given you will be replenished tenfold or more anyway. Okay. So hopefully we're not the kind of person who hoards his or her blessings. And hopefully we're not the kind of poor person who takes unfair advantage of people's charity. Now that's different. It's all in your attitude and what's your purpose. In every position along the cycle, we have the choice of what kind of attitude we will foster. In any case, the following scripture outlines the order of our priorities we must follow if we want to live in harmony with God's will for us. But before you seek for riches, seek for the kingdom of God. So what do we mean right here, right? Go to heaven first? No, that's not what we're talking about. Get connected mentally, emotionally with God and the universe, okay? Connect with them through your thoughts by creating the right vibration, by seeking them out, and then also when they give you advice through inspiration, intuition, and revelation that you feel you should do something, do it. But before you seek for riches, ask for God's help is what this is saying, okay? Yes, it's seek the kingdom, meaning put God in the universe first in your thoughts and in your feelings, in your adoration, okay? But before you seek for riches, ask for God's help. And if after you have obtained a hope in Christ, and you don't have to be Christian, by the way, for this to work, okay? You shall obtain riches. If you seek them, and you will seek them for the intent to do good. You will take care of yourself first. You will put your own oxygen mask on like you would in an airplane, okay? If it was coming down, they always tell you put your mask on first. But once you have plenty and more than you need, and not to say you don't give until you have everything you need and want, okay? You get the idea behind this. But then you will help other people. You will help to clothe the naked and feed the hungry and to liberate the captive and relief to the sick and the afflicted. I'll add here that we will do all these things for our own families too. We will care for our own and take guided steps to liberate ourselves from financial captivity and administer relief to ourselves if we are sick with financial worry. So, would you like a few hidden treasures? Could you use a little bit of heaven's astonishing help with your money matters? It matters. It matters that you rely on God for the help you need. We could do everything right, find wealth, and then fail to give him the credit for our deliverance. However, in nothing doth a man offend God in the universe, or against none is his wrath kindled, save those who confess not his hand in all things. And it's actually a lie. It's not like he's coming after you, okay? What happens is if you're not grateful and you don't express gratitude, your vibration gets lower and lower and lower. And then you end up attracting to your life that which you don't want. The easiest way to raise your vibration and strengthen your connection with God and the universe is through acknowledgement, through gratitude of the blessings you've already been given. And then if you're asking for new things with the faith and belief that God and the universe are already delivering to them to you, and you have gratitude for that also. But if gratitude is missing, if acknowledgement that you've received the help is missing, it's not that like God's sitting there and he's like, okay, I can't stand this person because they don't say that. It's the vibration you're putting out. It's going to reflect back to you the essence of what it is that you're putting out. So take advantage of the fact that God and the universe have already blessed us with so many things in our life, because then we can use that to offer gratitude and appreciation. And that offering of gratitude and appreciation is a wonderful thought, which creates a higher vibration, which brings to us more blessings in our lives and more guidance and direction from God in the universe to do those things so that we can receive what we want. Once we are delivered, we need to acknowledge the source of our deliverance and follow the advice, which is, if riches increase, set not your heart upon them. Okay. If God really wants me to be wealthy, why hasn't he already made me so? Let's see. Let's see how far this little discussion is going to go. This time we're not going to go exactly chapter to chapter because the chapters are a little bit longer. Actually, that we might finish this part though. I think we will. Yep, we will. Okay, so we'll take a few more minutes there and then we'll have our discussion. Okay, if God really wants me to be wealthy, why hasn't he already made me so? Again, I believe the reason that people don't usually prosper automatically is because he's more interested in our personal growth than our comfort. The struggle is part of the blessing, believe it or not. To prosper without the struggle is to never comprehend the value of the gift of deliverance. Furthermore, struggles keep us on our knees, and anything that does that is a blessing in disguise. And if men come unto me, I will show unto them their weakness. I give unto men weakness that they may be humble, and my grace is sufficient for all men that humble themselves before me. For if they humble themselves before me and have faith in me, then I will make weak things become strong unto them. So I'll give them what they're asking for. Even our ability to meet financial obligations can become one such strength. He allows us to suffer financial stress and worry in hopes that we will turn to him for answers. When we do, he provides those answers. Sometimes he waits until we're sufficiently humble to appreciate the answers. If I had been given these answers too soon, I would not have felt so strongly about sharing my answers with you. In fact, I wouldn't have appreciated them. I might not have even believed them. Earlier in my life, I tried to be ultra obedient to a fault. I realized now that all those years I was trying to perfect myself. Eventually, I caved because it is literally impossible to become perfect on our own. I hadn't yet learned how to rely on a savior to make up the difference for my deficiencies. Ironically, the answers to my financial dilemma came after I finally gave up trying. I had gone emotionally limp and told God that if he wanted me to get out of bed the next morning, he would have to be the one responsible for it. Just about all I could commit to was to pray every morning and night for the following 2 weeks. No extracurricular service projects, no promises to be a perfect mother, no guarantee of anything but a humble heart and a commitment to pray often. I had given up trying to be perfect and told him apologetically that this was all I could promise right now. No longer did I feel angry at myself for my failings. This is important, everybody. Okay. Don't get down on yourself. No longer did I feel angry at myself for my failings. I simply was in the depths of sadness to realize how hopeless I was and how I wasn't able to be perfect no matter how hard I tried. I had believed that it was that if I was just disciplined enough or strong enough, I could have been that superwoman. But no, now I knew it would remain beyond my reach no matter how good I tried to be. I lamented my defeat and let go of any hope that I could ever live a perfect life. Paradoxically, for the first time in years, and at that moment, I finally felt him smiling on me. It is as if he was saying, "You finally realize your dependence on me. Now we can proceed." Since then, I have learned that I accomplish more and do greater things when I maintain that attitude of humility and acknowledge that if I ever accomplish anything noteworthy, it is because God made it happen through me and in spite of me. It is through the Spirit that I can wake each morning and believe that the day is worth getting up for. It is because of that experience and many since that I've learned I am truly nothing without Him, and I can do no good thing on my own. But I did learn the valuable lesson, or I didn't learn the valuable lesson until I gave it my all for as long as I could and found out that I still came up short. So, where are you at? Do you feel you've given it your all and you're ready to let God and the universe step in and help you achieve success this way? How teachable are you right now? You know what? We're going to find out. Okay, let me go to here. All right, so tomorrow we will start getting into the laws more. All right, so here is our opportunity to spend some time together and to share things that we would like to share. Um, by the way, I'm going to stay on longer. You know, the meetup says we go for 45 minutes. That's fine. If you need to go ahead and go. And you can always catch the end of the recording if you want to get caught up. But I'll probably stay even 10 to 15 minutes longer if we're having a good discussion and it's helpful to you guys. But I just want you to know that if you're like, well, my schedule, I can only be here 45 minutes. That's fine. Don't feel you're being rude or anything if you have to go. Okay. But I'm going to stay here and help you guys a little bit longer as long as you're sharing things and asking questions. So, what is appropriate to share? What's appropriate to share is anything that came to you as a result of what we just read today and what we've been talking about, or anything that we've gone over in the past since we've been doing this meetup together. Okay, what else would be appropriate to share? Well, if you've intentionally decided you wanted to receive something in your life, okay, and you went and utilized what you feel was the process of manifesting that through the law of attraction and it showed up in your life, please share that with us. Okay, that helps strengthen people's faith, and it's always cool to hear other people's stories. Okay, questions, what's appropriate? Well, anything related to what we just went over today. Okay, anything related to what we've gone over in the last 3.5 weeks or so that it's been since we've been coming together, and or anything related to manifesting more money and wealth in your life. So the way that we do this is I'm going in a moment to say you can come off mute and share. When I do that, just start talking. If two of you kind of jump in at the same time, we'll try and figure who went first, and they'll go first, and the next person will go second. I do recommend that you use this time wisely. What do I mean by that? Don't just be silent if something's in your mind and you got something you want to ask. Again, this is my profession. I'm a coach. I think I'm pretty good at it. My clients think I'm pretty good at it. Okay. And I get paid to do it. I'm not being paid right now. I'm doing this as a service for you guys. But I want you to understand that people do pay really good money, particularly in the coaching one-on-one. They pay 20 grand for 6 months. Group coaching, they pay 5 grand for 6 months. And then there's some other courses, classes I teach also. And they are all happy with their results. So whatever help I can be for free while I'm here with you, I want to be that help for you. But I can't help you if you're silent. So now's your time to come off mute and share what you like to share or ask whatever question you would like to ask. Thank you.
Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
I am terrific. So is this Andrew?
Yes.
Hi, Andrew. Thanks for coming today.
Not a problem, not a problem. Well, I have a story. Not story that just recently happened to me that that kind of relates to this.
Okay.
So, and it's crazy because this story happened to me twice within the last 4 months, I would say. So back in January, I envisioned of having a certain car, you know, and I kept, putting forth effort to get in this car, because I understand what the law of attraction is two different things. Like the first thing I understand is that, you know, there's a difference between forcing a vision and there's a difference between um, actually visualizing something that you really want. Because when you force it, it's kind of not going to happen for you that way. But if it's something that you really, really inspired to do or to make happen for yourself, it kind of like the universe, kind of shifts to make that happen for you. And I really, really starting to see this now. So
Awesome.
at first, at first, I was envisioning of myself getting a certain car. Well, it was a Dodge Charger,
Cool.
right? And I was saying, okay, this is one of my favorite cars. This is something I want to have, so forth and so forth. So fast forward to, January of this year, um, I kept seeing them everywhere. And then when I started seeing them everywhere, I knew eventually I'm going to get one soon. I said, okay, I'm going to get one soon.
Yep.
And, out of the drop of thin air, I went to a dealership and I ended up getting one fully paid off. So
Awesome.
I was happy. I was happy with that. I was like, okay, now I'm starting to see that, what I think about and what I really visualize is really, is coming to happen for me. So I've been, training myself with different aspects of, my life and trying to manifest those things too. Like, my business, work relationships, money, any little thing that, that I want to bring forth to myself or want to make happen, I put some effort behind it to make sure that it manifests, fully and clearly for myself. And it's weird because ever since I got that car, I kept having visions of me driving an all black truck. And I didn't understand why I kept having these visions. I was like, I just got the car I wanted. So why am I envisioning myself driving an all black truck? And it's weird because I just got an all black truck yesterday. And and it's crazy because I kept having these visions, like I would, have these little visions, like if I'm taking a nap or if I'm sleeping, I kept picturing myself driving on the highway in a black truck, all black truck, black rims, black tents. And I never understood like why that kept happening. Like, okay, why am I envisioning myself in a black truck? And it's crazy because as time went on with that car, I told myself, I want to get something bigger, but I just didn't know what. So ever since I told myself that, I said that out loud, I kept having those visions. And then, about earlier this week, I had someone call me, say, hey, we like your car. We want to buy it from you. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So I went to the dealership and they offered me an all black truck. And I was just like, wait, I kept having visions about me getting an all black truck. And the crazy thing about it was every other car that I tried to get, I couldn't get it.
Yep.
It was like God just like created this tunnel for me to get that truck. So I took the deal. It was a pretty good deal. So I took the deal and I ended up trading the Charger, and now I'm driving an all black truck, and it's just crazy because it's like everything now that I'm starting to see and visualize, and writing down on paper, speaking out loud, everything that I'm putting together is like starting to, come to life, like kind of manifest itself in a sense. So I just wanted to share the story because I know a lot of people, whether you're new or not, that have been on here, some people have doubts that it can work, and some people, it worked for them. So just to anyone out there that have any doubts about it, it helps because I've manifested a couple things, in my life, not consistently, because and that's on my behalf, but the law of attraction does work. Manifesting does work. You just have to naturally let it happen. Once you're more natural with it and there's something that you really want to go after, it'll come for you. Maybe not at the time you may think it may happen, but it will happen for you. You just have to trust in it, just like how you have to trust in yourself.
Love it, love it, love it. Awesome story. Glad it's happened to you. And you talked about consistently doing that. That's what I help people do. A lot of people that end up becoming clients of mine are like, hey, I have success. They've had success. They're not always so stuck that like nothing works. They've had some good success. They just want it to be how they live their life consistently, right? Because you found that wasn't the process pretty easy, Andrew? I mean, like you didn't have to put a bunch of effort into any of it.
Yeah, the process is pretty simple because the problem I had before, honestly, is like when you want to manifest something, it kind of it becomes like a worry for yourself. Like you want it
Yeah.
so bad to
Yeah.
the point where it kind of clouds your thinking. It's like, oh, I gotta have it now. I want this so bad. I want to have it now. You kind of can't take a relaxed approach to it. And then when you take a relaxed approach to it, and it's something that you naturally just want, and you can kind of envision it and then kind of break it down, then
Uh-huh.
it starts to happen better for you because then at that time it kind of unravels itself for
Yeah.
you in ways that you don't even see coming sometimes.
Yeah.
So
That's
it
awesome.
it does help.
Hey,
Sorry.
Andrew, have you seen on YouTube Steve Harvey talk about his 300 list?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Have you taken that challenge?
Yes, I haven't came up with 300, but I got like around maybe 70, 75. But I've practiced what he's been doing, but I haven't came
Well,
close to 300.
I'm feeling prompted to tell you, go finish it up. You're going to receive more things without a lot of effort because I did that and I was given a car. Okay. It wasn't even one that was high on my list. I actually had other cars
Hmm.
I wanted more, but it was one that I liked. And a business partner ended up going and buying it, didn't even know I liked it. I never told him about it, I did. I just said it's a cool car. And then 3 months later, he goes, Kevin, it doesn't really feel like it fits me. It totally feels like it belongs to you. And he gave me his 650 M650i convertible.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not like he gave me a 20, 30,000. It was $130,000 car.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember this story. Yeah, I remember you telling us this. Yeah, that was a really good story too.
Yeah,
That
and
was a really
also
neat story.
flying in private plane and stuff like that. And that's because of Steve Harvey's list, because what you just said, the stuff that you don't stress about, worry about, and fret about comes a lot easier. And the reason, though, you tend not to fret and worry and stress about it is because your subconscious mind's not in opposition to it. When your subconscious mind's in opposition to something, then you have to reprogram that part of you, and you have to do it kind of one at a time. There's no blanket reset program, okay? You have to take each thing. But the reason that the Steve Harvey, it's not his list, it was a challenge he was given. And I was given that challenge too. So I did it. I've received a lot of things on it. He says you'll probably receive 10% of the things within 12 months that you write on the list because you just put it out there and there was nothing against it. It was a seed that was able to grow without you having to do much. But when you want to manifest the thing you really want, that's the place where I come in a lot and help people because it is actually as easy to manifest that thing that you really, really, really do want, that you've been, people have been stressing out about or whatnot. But it's getting your subconscious mind in alignment with what it is that you want so that when you are obeying the laws, they work for you. because if not, your subconscious mind is going to come along and sabotage you. Love your story, Andrew. I'm so glad to hear that you were willing to share that with us, because I think that is probably opened up some people's minds to go, okay, it's not just guys like Kevin that are out there, that have done this for years and years and years, but anybody, can do this. So thank you.
Not a
I
problem.
wanted to touch on the fact that it took such a short amount of time for your law of attraction to happen, because the issue with me, I've always had my sister calls it a gift, because I always get I always get what I wish for, but I have found in my older life that I think I stress too much on things, but it takes a long time for things to manifest in my life. And so like, I'm from San Diego originally, but I moved to Minnesota and lived there for 28 years. And I kept telling my husband, I'm a beach girl at heart, that we're going to be moving. When we retire, we're going to be moving where it's going to be warm and sunny. And he was like, nope, heck no. His heels were dug into the ground because he was born and raised in Minnesota. Never in a million years did I think he would ever move, or I can get him to move. Well, now I'm in Arizona.
Well, there you go.
And way before our retirement.
You almost, if we have the right earthquake, you'll get the beach, right?
Yeah, right. No kidding. But we just got here a year ago, but it was like 20 years of me wanting to move somewhere else. And of course, I always thought maybe I'd go back to California, and never even thought of Arizona or anything, but I just wanted to be somewhere warm and water and an ocean. But I'm not near I'm closer now than I was in Minnesota, but it took like 20 years. But never in a million years did I think that I would ever get my husband to move. And now here we are in Arizona. We've been here for a year, but I'm finding that other things, it's like taking forever. And it's funny, Andrew, the car story you shared, I wanted a Ford Edge so bad. I used to go to dealerships when we would go on vacation up north in Alexandria in Minnesota. We'd go to dealerships so I can look at the Ford Edges and want to test drive them. And it was just like, we were so far in debt that it was like beyond, there was like no way I was ever going to get a newer car or ever be able to get that Ford Edge, because we had no room to have any more payments added to our other financial stress. And but it's just funny that now I look back and I go, oh, it's because the universe didn't want me to have it, because it was lining up for us to get money saved up to move to Arizona. And I ended up getting a brand new Toyota RAV4, and I love it. And I've never had a brand new car in my life ever. And although I wish I could have it paid for in full like you, Andrew. That's my other goal. But at least I'm just grateful that I have been able so far to make enough money to pay the payments. But I'm finding that other things are not coming fast enough. Like, I want to be a multimillionaire. And I mean, like 2.5 million, I would be so thrilled and happy with. I'd be good with that when I say multimillionaire. But my husband and I want to be entrepreneurs. We're kind of on the path of starting that. We don't even know how to do it, what to do as far as like starting a business, and then how. I've always wanted to be rich though, always. And it just seems like it's never coming to fruition. So how did you, I mean, you kind of answered it when you said that when you have to relax and not stress on something. It just seems, it was just really cool that your car manifested for 2 of them in such a short amount of time. Because you said in January, you were thinking this or envisioning, and then in May, you got your car, your Dodge or Charger, sorry. Yeah. Was it a Dodge or Dodge Charger, right? Was the first one?
I got the Charger in January, then I ended up getting a truck 2 days ago.
Jeez. So see, like that, it seemed like it happened so quickly for you. And that's where I struggle, because the things I really want really bad are not happening quickly enough.
So Michelle, part of what he said, and you should catch from what he was saying, Andrew said, is because he wasn't wanting it. He wanted it, but he let go of wanting it so much and just had fun with the idea. And in his imagination, he was constantly driving a Charger instead of probably whatever you were driving. True or true, Andrew?
Very true.
So I know the stuff, and this goes for Andrew too. Like Andrew said, so the car thing right now for Andrew is really high on his vibration. But for instance, I don't know what else you want, Andrew, but are there things that you've wanted as much or more than that vehicle that have not shown up yet?
Honestly, the one thing that I am working on right now is more consistency in my business. That's one thing I'm working on right now that I would love to have,
Okay.
because one thing I'm struggling with in my business is, consistency with clients, finding leads, putting them together, because when I do get clients, it's very, very big. It's a very big payoff, very good.
Yeah.
But I don't have that consistently, so, I'm just trying to put those systems together and have that manifest itself.
Are you a real estate investor?
Yes.
Okay. Wholesale or fix and flip or something else?
Both wholesale and fix and flip.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
I know what you're talking about. Your focus though is here. Can I tell you where you're probably getting stuck and help you out a bit?
Yes, please.
Okay. You're stuck on focusing on your business. Let that sink in for a sec. See, what you're telling me is you want your business to do this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. I 100% get that, because right now it's what you're involved in. It's your primary source of income. It's what's brought you most of the money that you're receiving. It's probably even something you like doing. Is all that true?
Yes.
Okay. However, what you haven't focused on, you've been told that through fixing, flipping, and wholesaling, there's a lot of information on there how to do it, which it sounds like you've learned the how to pretty successfully. There's also tons of wholesalers and fix and flippers though that have an opinion about how their business, like, okay, if you do this, then this is how you get clients, or this is how they have a lot of different opinions, but most of the opinions are stuck at a level that they don't believe that they can actually have their business grow without doing certain things that everybody else has had to do. And it can, okay? But what you need to focus on, so do you fix and flip and wholesale because you absolutely, and just be straight, you're probably enjoying it because you absolutely love that business? Would you keep doing it if it didn't pay you?
Yes, because for the first 2 years that I was doing it, I wasn't making any.
Okay. So what is it is your income going up and down? Is it just you haven't met the place you want to be? Why do you want to grow?
Well, a couple reasons why. One, I created this business because, my mom and dad, they were the reason why I even got into this business, because as a kid, I moved a lot.
Okay.
I moved around tremendously. And that kind of sparked curiosity with me as to, as a kid, like, okay, why are we always moving so much? So it kind of gave me an interest in housing. And also, I had a job where I was doing rehabs for 4 years.
Okay.
So that kind of helped me, kind of push the envelope for me too, because I was watching the CEO do all this, and I was telling myself, if you can do this, I know I can. So, I sat down, I spoke with him. I said, hey, look, I'm going to venture off into my own journey, and he was behind me 100%. And then since then, I took off and I just started doing it on my own. The first 2 years was, mainly me learning, going to seminars, learning a whole bunch of stuff, analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
Mainly within the first 2 years, because is as a wholesaler, as a flipper, is you get pointed in so many different directions because you think every direction that you're going in is the right one.
Mm-hmm.
And you get analysis paralysis from it because you're getting taught so many different methods.
Exactly. Yeah. And your subconscious is, you've got this confusion going on because they're all right and they're all wrong. What do I mean?
Right. And I had to realize that everybody has their own method to their own success.
Yes.
And I had to learn that later on as I was going. And then, for the last 2 years, it's been pretty good. I've done a couple fix and flips, a couple wholesales, things like that. I've done a good amount. I just closed one last month, but I have to wait for that to come. But I understand, with COVID, everything's been slowing down. So I just told myself, this is my career. This is something I want to be in for life. So I want to make sure that no matter what happens going forward, in any year, any pandemic, I want to stay afloat. I want to stay at the top. Okay. I want to make sure that my business always survives no matter what the world throws at it.
Okay, so first of all, that's you're focusing on something, you're focusing on prevention instead of strength. You're trying to prevent something from happening versus making sure something that you want happens. So anytime you're trying to avoid, you are now actually creating a situation to need to avoid. Okay. What I would
Right.
what I would focus on if I were you is get a vision. Your business will be part of it, okay? But don't be overly stuck strictly on the business side of this. Get the vision and take time to write down what you want your lifestyle, your ultimate lifestyle, not just a good one, but whatever it is, whatever the ceiling, whatever still feels good. Don't make stuff up. You shouldn't, nobody should tell anybody how much money they should want or what things they should buy or whatever. So it's got to be stuff that you really want in your life. But you need to picture your lifestyle the same way you had been envisioning the car. If you picture your lifestyle, and for instance, your lifestyle includes a good amount of travel. Do you like to travel or no?
Yes.
Okay. So one thing that's a little bit challenging to do until you grow your business bigger and get the right people helping you is typically in a wholesale fix and flip business, you're heavily involved in what goes on, right? I mean, that's just
Yes.
that's normal at the beginnings. That's even normal till you're in the multi-millions. Usually a fix and flipper wholesaler, my experience has been they can get somewhere up near about $350,000 is kind of where they will max out what they can do with a very small team. Like they have an assistant, but if they turn it into something bigger than that, they can hit millions of dollars, but they need a lot more infrastructure. Also, if you do want to travel and take vacations, that's the thing that you'll miss out on. You'll get the money, but you will have to come back really quick from vacation unless you've got other people that can actually run the business. But what you want to do is not picture your business how it operates for now. You will be given ideas by God in the universe what directions to take through inspiration, intuition, revelation. What you should do before your business gets much bigger than it currently is, so that it'll be a bit easier for you and God, is decide your lifestyle. Decide, like, if I'm traveling, how often am I traveling and where am I going and how am I doing? Am I first class? Am I private plane? What do I do, right? Am I in a motorhome? Do I just drive, if I'm taking, do you have children? Do you have children, Andrew? Did you disappear?
Yes.
Okay. You have children. Okay.
No, I'm here. I have kids.
Okay.
Yes.
Married? Are you married also?
Soon to be.
Soon to be. Okay. Congratulations.
No, not yet. Soon to be.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank
That's what
you.
I said. Congratulations, though. Okay. So essentially, I'm going to say you're married, you have kids, and there's things you want to do in your business for sure, but there's a life you're going to want to live. If you want to create the life you want to live and then let your business wrap around it, create the life you want to live. And that's what you focus on. You don't focus on how to make your business better. You focus on the lifestyle that you want, and God in the universe will give you the intuition, inspiration, and revelation to make your business better. And it will kind of naturally happen because you will attract into your life all the resources, all the people, all the knowledge that you need for your business to grow like that. Not only that, if you're open to God in the universe, also bringing you your good through additional, I call them channels. People say multiple streams of income, kind of, or multiple sources. God and the universe are the source anyway. I like to refer to it as a channel where you can receive your good and stay open to receiving from anywhere God and the universe want to deliver it. But what will happen is if you create your lifestyle first, and that's where you spend your vision when you're not in the middle of working, that's where you spend your leisure time. That's where you ignore your five senses and go into this kind of fourth dimensional feeling, and you live your life that way in the lifestyle that you want. Your God in the universe will help you create the business opportunity or opportunities, and your business will match that. Because what won't happen, what will end up happening potentially, if you focus on growing your business without deciding your lifestyle first, you'll end up like some friends of mine, lots of friends. I have a lot of friends in the real estate investing world. I've helped over 300 people become trained as real estate investors. And what'll happen is they'll build this business that creates money and they'll burn out because now they have money, but they have no lifestyle because they don't have any time freedom and they feel just as stuck as before they had even money. You want to make sure that you decide the life that you want now and then let God in the universe. So for me, for instance, when this first worked out for me, I wanted to spend more time with my family and I didn't set a specific money goal. I created a lifestyle. And then what happened almost instantly, that's why it doesn't have to take long. I went from $5,000 to $6,000 a month to $50,000 a month average in a matter of 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
And my work week went from 50, 60 hours a week down to 15, 20. And for the last 15, 16 years, I have not worked over 20 hours a week because I created my lifestyle vision, and then God in the universe provided the vehicle. And by the way, my vehicle changed about 4 or 5 times over the years because the economy has changed, this has changed, that has changed. But what has not changed is my ability to live my lifestyle. See, God, when one other thing was slipping away, God just put another one in its place.
Wow, right away.
Yeah,
immediately.
It was coming into view as the other one was going out.
Going out, because I have things going out and then it's slower coming in. But it's so I have a quick question then, because that was really good, awesome feedback for Andrew. I wrote that down, like focus on your lifestyle versus focusing on like what you want your business to be. Because there's a couple businesses that my husband and I want to start, but since we moved to Arizona, it's a little different. It's funny, Andrew, we're into real estate too, like big time. And we've owned investment properties in Minnesota. We've been landlords for over 20 years, and we're trying to do that here in Arizona now. And we ended up selling our townhouse way less than I wanted to, but whatever. I'm trying to let go of that, and I haven't. It's still in the back of my head. But we finally are in a position where we can actually buy a property and pay cash for it, but only a certain amount. But now I'm finding that in Arizona, like everywhere else, the market is so crazy that people are asking for 200,000 or more, or even 125,000 for these really rundown, horrible townhomes that are in a really bad area of town. And it's one roadblock after another I'm finding with real estate here in Arizona, where I'm even considering looking outside of Arizona and maybe buying a property in Texas or Nevada, because it is cheaper and you're getting more bang for your buck, but then it's long distance and I don't have a team in place yet. So it'd be my husband and I doing the property management and the maintenance and all that. And then how do you do that far away? I don't know, but it's like I keep asking the universe, why? What is that roadblock? Why are you keeping us from buying something here in Arizona?
Your own language is making sure that you're going to stay stuck.
Oh,
FYI. You are the exact type of person that my specialty is. The person that is like stuck, but has a bunch of knowledge, but I need to get you out of your head and get you reprogrammed. Once that happens, what happened to me will happen to you. All the knowledge you've obtained over the years of your life that seems like it's not working out for you, it's like it just all opens up and becomes easy. I'd spent time doing all kinds of things, learning about being an entrepreneur and being an investor, and people around me were succeeding with it when I wasn't. And I had the same knowledge. I went through the same training and everything else, but I had programming at a subconscious level that kept getting in the way. What I learned is how to obey the laws and then how to reprogram myself. And once that happened, I created a lifestyle. And in the lifestyle that I created, that determines my income. My income has been different over the years, but it's been not based upon me focusing on an income. It's whatever lifestyle I'm choosing and putting out there to live, that God in the universe are matching it with the business opportunities and things to match what's necessary to make that happen. What right now you're doing is you're trying to use your logic. Well, I'm going to go find the cheaper place. And here's the thing. You don't want to live where it's cheaper per se. You don't want to buy a house over in another state I mean, your logic tells you that's what you have to do if I want to pay cash for this house or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, for you personally, because more so than Andrew, I can feel Andrew's on a particular path and vibration where he wouldn't need to pivot. You really need to actually put the brakes on and really truly reinvent yourself and recreate it. And you can do that in just a matter of a few months. And then you will know exactly what it is that you're supposed to do. And it may not even be something you've done already, but you'll know it and you will feel this confidence that it'll work out, even though it's new for you. And it will work out for you.
Interesting.
That's,
Okay.
that's what, I mean, what I would do if you want to have a conversation, I'll tell you my email right now. You can write it down.
Okay.
And then just email me and give me your phone number. We can talk for a little bit. Okay, because you're in a position right now where I'm like, you're at a pivotal point, which is that you're in a great spot to either go totally the wrong direction or totally the right direction. You're in a very good spot right now.
Right. Yeah.
But
I feel stuck because we're both unemployed because I just lost my job in February.
You're unemployed, but you also, like you said, you've got cash to go buy a house. You're not going to starve tomorrow.
Right. But we don't have like a huge amount of cash and we don't want to use it up because that's what we're surviving on.
100% get it. And you're going to have to quit talking about what you don't want.
Okay.
You are so focused on what you don't want to have happen. That's the only thing that can happen.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, you need help or you're going to go down the tubes. But I think that's probably why you showed up here too.
Yeah, it's funny because I belong to Meetup in Minnesota and I was like, wait, I got to go change it now that I'm in Arizona. And when I signed on, right away, I saw this free live manifesting law of attraction training. I'm like, wait, what? No way. And I registered right away. It was like, as soon as I immediately signed in, that's the first thing I saw.
Awesome. So my email is, just take my name. My email is Coach. Okay. And then Kevin Sparks. You can see my picture on the screen. That's how you spell my name. So it's Coach Kevin Sparks at Gmail. And just reach out, make sure you leave your phone number and I'll have a conversation with you. You don't have to choose to have me help you with anything. I'm not trying to put any pressure. What I'm going is, oh my gosh, here's a person that can either go totally to the top or tank themselves depending on the decisions they make in the near future. And I would like to see you go to the top and
thank you.
And possibly be part of that process versus you've got money, but you've got this natural, which everybody has, it'll run out eventually. And I don't want to use it for this, and and all these things that you're telling yourself you don't want. You keep this up and you will have all of those things happen to you.
Kevin,
yes.
Is it too late to ask a question today or?
No, go ahead, Carrie. Go for it.
Okay. Well, all right. It's I guess my problem is getting over what seems to be impossible. All right. I have all my life wanted to have a place on the water at the beach. Okay. Now, it couldn't be a worse time because of COVID. Houses at the beach are like going for incredible amounts of money. All right.
See, that's what your five senses are telling you. Your imagination. Yes, I'm telling you right now, the things that I've been given and the discounts I've been given on things. I went and stayed at a property for several months with my family because we wanted to be in San Diego and travel and do stuff. And we were there. And the price that we should have been charged was $6,000. We got charged $3,000.
Wow.
Even though anybody else, would have had to pay it. And the people were happy about it. And it was nicer than the place we were about to stay that was going to be $4,000.
Wow.
So it ended up being, we ended up in this, $1 million plus fully furnished place right on the beach for 3 months, paying $3,000 a month.
That's fantastic. I don't know. I just don't know if I'm being too greedy. We do have a place.
No. You can't be too greedy. That's another thing you got to get rid of. You guys all need to be more greedy. But don't use the words greedy.
Yeah, I understand.
If you think you're being greedy, God in the universe then won't deliver it to you because your subconscious mind says, well, if Karen thinks this is greedy, then she's not a greedy person, so I can't give it to her. So if you label things that you want
Uh-huh.
as like that, so you're another person, Karen. I mean, you've been around for a little bit. You know that
Hmm.
I'm here. I haven't figured out yet why you keep procrastinating, letting me help you, but that's okay. You really
It's
should,
by nature.
so that you can just take off with this thing and be like, oh my gosh, why did I wait freaking, half a year
Hmm.
before I I got through this stuff? But I don't really want, I mean, you guys will share your stories with me, but I'm going to stop you a lot of times and say, I don't really care what you don't want.
Okay.
Matter of fact, you better quit telling me what you don't want. Tell it to me as what you do want. And how do you know what you do want? You take what you don't want and you switch it. But see, you let COVID and you're right, Sandy. If I look at the facts, my five senses tell me it says the housing market, like I heard the other day at Arizona, FYI, and I'm not telling this to scare you. I just want you to say you can scare yourself this way.
Oh yeah.
There's an 8-day supply of houses in Arizona right now
Oh, okay.
on the MLS for the number of people that want a house and are moving in. The supply is a good supply is normally about 3 months. Okay.
Okay.
There's an 8-day supply in Arizona. I don't know exactly what the supply is in San Diego right now, but it doesn't matter. See, I don't give a rip what the world tells me. I decide what I want because God in the universe can override everything.
Okay. Well, God can override a lot of things, but on
Well,
top of that,
everything.
all right, everything. All right, everything. On top of that is the fact that I love the shore and my husband doesn't. So
Okay.
he's got a big job ahead of him. That's all I can tell you. I'm not sure how to do it, but I thought I'd throw it out there anyhow. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I asked for it as if I really want it. I don't think about being that other word ever. Okay. But
Uh-huh.
I do wonder somehow how it's, I look at the houses and of course they're expensive and I go, I don't know, God, how
And
you're going to
again,
do
that's
it. But
another thing. I know nothing's expensive. It just is. If you were earning $100,000 a month right now, Karen,
Mhm.
how would those houses be too expensive?
No, they wouldn't.
Exactly. So they're not too expensive. Do you know anybody on the planet that earns 100,000 or more a month? I do.
I don't know too many people. No.
Right.
I don't
But
know
you know
any. I
of
want
them,
to be
even
that person.
personally, right?
I've heard of them. I don't know them personally.
Yeah, I just met someone recently putting together their coaching business that in less than 2 years, they're almost at 8 figures.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
but see, I'm looking for people that have done it instead of looking to my senses in the world for the people that haven't done it. Because you're right, most of the world won't do it because they're programmed not to.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
there is,
it's like everything else. You should stay around people that you want to become like.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
absolutely. And if they don't live next to you, do it virtually for now and figure out a way to get around them. It'll help for sure for the vibration. It won't reprogram your subconscious
Mm-hmm.
mind completely. It's not
Right.
like osmosis, you get fairy dust on you from them and then you become rich too. Your programming has to change to match theirs, then you'll end up with what they've got.
Well, I look at these very expensive houses that you tell me
Uh,
aren't expensive, and like you can't go see them if you don't have that kind of money. So you
and
just sit
again, you're
home
telling me all the
and dream.
camps. You're
I
telling
know.
me every
So you
camp in
just
the world.
so you sit home and you dream about it and you don't do too much, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just trying to get the picture on this. Okay.
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right. So that's what I do. All right.
Okay, thank
And
you.
I'll dream that my husband's at the ocean having a wonderful time.
Might surprise you. He just might.
That would surprise me. Yes. Anyhow, the only other thing I wanted to say about what you said today, and I had mentioned it before, is that I used to be the kind that I was kind of trained by my mother that you don't tell anybody what's going on, you don't share anything you're doing. So I was kind of like not independent as far as getting things done. But
Yeah,
all of a sudden, I don't know why it hit me one day that if I ask other people to help me, it's not only good for me, but it's good for them and
exactly.
their opinion of themselves and so forth. So that's when I started asking for help.
Awesome.
And
Yes.
initially it was a surprise for people, but they got used to it.
Very cool.
So that's all I'm going to say.
Okay, thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Uh-huh. All right, we have definitely gone over today, but it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. Does anybody have any final question like, hey, if you don't answer it, I won't sleep really well tonight. So,
I just have a question for you, Kevin. I just want to know if it's all right for me to reach out to you as well.
oh yes, 100%. Yeah,
Okay, great.
anybody, yeah, 100. I didn't mean it. I was having a conversation. That doesn't mean it's not for you or anybody. Every one of you probably should. But what I'm saying is don't reach out. Understand it's not free, but also understand here's what usually happens in my group coaching setting, which is it's $5,000 right now. In a month, I'm going to raise it to 6, but for now it's 5. In the group coaching setting, most of these people that I've worked with, I can't think of any. Well, some aren't done yet, but by the time they've hit 6 months or more with me, because that's how long I do it, they all have their money back and then some. But what happens for a lot of them is they have a lot more than that back. I mean, I coached someone that in 6 months, his income was only $40,000 a year. And in the first 6 months I worked with him, he'd already made 130,000.
Wow.
Right? So he just needed to get some things cleared up. So his knowledge base of what he was doing was good. The how-to. The problem is his subconscious mind wasn't allowing him to reach his potential because his thermostat was set at 40,000 a year. Think about your thermostat in your house. If you don't change the setting, the thermostat's going to bring the temperature back to what it's set at. So he went for years and years right around 40,000, and then he'd get 50, 60, but then come back to 40, then went down to 30, then up to 40. But the average out over several was 40 grand. And so his financial set point was there. You've been growing, but what you haven't recognized is that you can actually, it's easier for you to make 3 or 4 or 5 or even 10 times the money you're making right now than it is to be where you're at, when your subconscious mind accepts that. So yes, absolutely, Andrew. I'd love to talk with you.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. And anybody else on here that wants to, again, talk with me, I'll be happy to have a conversation. Just tell me what you want, though. Don't just talk to me to tell me everything you don't want. Okay, I'm here to help you get what you want. You already know how to get what you don't want. So, all right. I appreciate you spending the time with us today, and I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow. And everybody have an amazing day. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome, Rich. Good to see you, my bear friend.
Thanks.